So we're early. We are live. Welcome to the Lynn and Cheryl Show. I'm Lynn Serrano,
And I'm Sheryl Isenhour.
and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hello, Cheryl. Happy New Year. Happy anniversary.
Happy all above. Same to you.
That's right. It's a new year. How about that? Thank God we made another
We
year
did
under
it
the month.
again.
We did it again. That's right. How was your trip?
It was good. Plenty long. By the fifth day, we were ready to get back home, but it was good. It was warm. That was the main thing.
Warmer than home has been?
Oh, yeah, because we were in teens here and it was in 80s there. So
Oh,
slightly warmer.
yeah. How was the humidity?
Not bad.
Oh, that's good. Well, you're
I mean,
used to
just
humidity.
normal Florida humidity.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you made it there and back. I thought that was a short trip, but obviously to you it was long enough.
I don't, we're not long vacationers. 5 days. By the fourth day, we were both. Let's put it this way: Key West isn't that big, so there's X amount of things, and so we're just not huge. I guess
Vacationers.
5 day people.
Yeah. So I think you'd take only like a 3-day cruise if you ever did a cruise, right?
Well, probably. I mean, we took a five. We took five before, and it was like, okay,
Can we get dumped off somewhere, please, right now?
well, we don't have anything particularly back home like kids to have to be back here for, but it's just mainly it's just not us. We're not. Neither one of us are used to relaxing much, so it's you're out of your box.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I guess Jerry came home and he had to take and leave right away, right?
Yeah, I actually he thank goodness he took some cold weather clothes with him because he found out about having to do this while we were there. So he was able to pack enough. He was only gone one day. So he was able to pack enough and schedule his flight later that night from the time we got in. So he came in, or we came in, my daughter picked me up with all the luggage except what he was taking with him. And he went on to Nashville and got back last night at late 30.
Yeah, there you go. So busy on the go kind of people. So you brought up the topic of what's the next step. So what would you and just so you guys know, there is a storm brewing around Cheryl. So she might matter of fact, it was so loud the thunderstorm. I thought it was her mouse or something that was scratching the table. It was pretty loud thunderstorms a little bit ago. So hopefully we get through this.
Well, yeah, we were loud. And the reason I said that's what's next. Okay, we're in a new year. What's next with the world? Nobody knows. But what's next in your box? What are you going to do? I mean, I'm not a New Year's resolution kind of person because a New Year's resolution is just something you thought about and probably are not going to do. I really don't try to make one. And I don't understand people that do because I've never kept one that I made. So, but what's next? What's next for you in if you're wanting to diet or if you're wanting to improve your work life, if you're wanting to improve your family? You've got to take that first step. And I think that's the step that most people miss. They miss that first step.
No, I like the topic because the next step is a reality as opposed to a resolution. I mean, what's the next thing you're going to do? It really makes you think. What are you going to do that you want to do, not because you're like you should do. I think that's where we get stuck too. Is it's January 1st. I guess we should get a membership somewheres, or we should do this, or should do that.
I
And so,
forgot what the number was, but the number of memberships to um,
gyms,
gyms and things on the first of the year is ridiculous.
yeah,
And if they're like me, well, the bad part is confession. Okay, confession time. I'm old enough. I have silver sneakers. So I could go to basically any of the gyms around here for nothing. Okay. It's not like I have to buy a membership. And it's like, we still don't make it. So again, why should I set a resolution that I'm going to go? Because I've had that advantage for several years now and still have not done it.
And
So,
it's a,
what's next in my future? Am I going to gain more weight? Am I going? I'm not gaining. I'm not losing it, and so pretty well happy where I'm at. Would I like to lose the same as most women I know, even the ones that weigh 100 pounds rock down? They still want to lose too.
mhm.
But I'm not going to live my life for that magic moment when it's all off. So,
I,
but I did walk a lot while I was in there because I was clicking in 10 to 12,000 steps a day, and that's a lot more than Cheryl usually does.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I think you're right. I think staying real and right and being realistic with yourself is something we don't normally do. We get into these, mundane ways of being and thinking because the calendar says something, we have to start doing something, and we should do something every day and towards whatever goal or whatever you're wanting to do. And I think that's where we falter. We make these unrealistic things and not look at, well, what's the next step, I mean, you don't conquer a hill by running up there. You take it one step or one moment at a time. Anything you want to
And I
accomplish.
watch people set goals or resolutions or whatever, and they don't give them an end date. Okay? If you're going to set something, put a date on it.
Love
The
it.
date, not the date it started, but the date you intend for it to end. Because without that, I can say, okay, I want to grow my hair long, whatever. I can't come up with anything. I want to grow my hair long. If I don't say by January 1st, 2000, whatever, there's no thing that tells me where my goal was to end.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's just like if you take a plane from California to New York. I mean, it's got to start somewheres, and you got to have a direction of where you're going to land this plane.
and a time
Where
you're going to get there, a day, hopefully you're going to get there.
Yeah. Well, it's just like when I'm planning my trip this summer. I mean, I'm gonna pre-work the steps of how many days I want to spend everywheres and the destination and the time and all that stuff, just like I did going out there, the year before.
Mhm.
And and then as I get closer, actually put the real dates to it, but get the gist of it's, 800 miles to Cheryl's house from or 500 miles from Laura's house to Cheryl's house and that those kinds of things. And like you said, you got to land there somewheres. That plane's got to land within that time somewheres, and you take the steps to get there. Whether
Well, when I do interviewing, I always, one of my questions, do you have any goals? And the I don't care what the goal is. Don't get me wrong. I care that they care. I'm waiting for them to say, this is my goal and it's set for. And now I'll never get that answer.
really,
Never. I've never. But
wow,
that's the way I go into it. Not that it makes a difference whether I hire them or not. I just need to know how serious their goal is because I can sit here and bubble off a goal list as long as you want. But if I don't have any intentions of doing it, different.
I I love that because like you said, anybody could say they'll start tomorrow, or start Monday. That's the infamous. I'll start Monday. I'll
Mhm.
start
Which
Monday.
Monday?
Right.
Which year? Of
But the
which
cool
decade?
But the cool thing is if you're going to start something, when is the finished product going to be done? And eventually, and some people will procrastinate right to the bitter end. And yet, you're right. It's the actions that you eventually have to take. It's like a project in school, college, high school, whatever. You know, it's given to you, and you got a certain date to finish it. That's
And
all
I
I
was
say.
always the one that did it the day before.
But
I
that's the
knew what I was going to do. That was a good thing. And it was a realistic time because it could be done. And it was something, if it took 2 days, I got done 2 days before.
well, it's just like if you have company or whatever, you're going to do a party or, celebrate something or packing to travel. You got to realize I'm leaving on June 1st is what I usually say. I think that's what I'm saying this year. I'm throwing that out there, but it's not concrete. But I say, I leave June 1st. Well, gee, how many days do I need before? Lynn needs usually 2 weeks before
I
for,
packed the day before I left.
oh my gosh. I'm so bad. And this year I'm going to force myself to be as minimalist as I can. I am going to work on that. I don't know, but again, it's one of those things where you do knowing the end date to get something. It's just like when I wrote my book. I mean, I was like, I knew I had to get, I had no choice but to get that in order to get the books so that I had books in hand, and I'm hopefully Jerry's not around, but I'm going to try to do something. I'm going to push myself to do something. I'm not giving a date or whatever, but I may throw another book out just to have, because then you get to write it off, But hey, that's how they do the taxes here, so I take advantage of it. Okay, so there you go. But no, seriously, so it's one of those things where, like you said, you knowing when you're going to finish is very important, and people just don't give any credence to that. Uh-oh, Jerry's right there. Darn it. uh,
I knew you were going to get bit on that one. Okay.
oh man. But anyhow, I didn't say nothing concrete, so leave me alone. But yeah, so I think it really is something. I mean, I did say I was going to have a book done before I left that last time. And I did. I mean, I finished from the time within 3 weeks of what I said, I would had it way done. So again, give yourself that end goal. And I never thought of it that way, to think of that finish date, because like you said, you can give yourself the day before the project's due or whatever. That's one thing, but it makes you get into action knowing that there is a final day and destination for you to come up with whatever you say you're going to.
Yeah. And then just do it.
Yeah.
That's the bad part. Just do it. Like, to be great, you got to start. To
Mm-hmm.
get where you're going, you've got to start. You've got to start. And so it's like when I got back, you can imagine what kind of bookworks and resumes and stuff I had sitting here. Did I want to start it? No. But did I know the first, that morning, yesterday, I had to sit down and I had to start. And I'm feeling pretty good today because I got myself caught back to where I needed to be. So that's good.
Good. Yeah. No, Jerry, I did it myself. I mean, it was great to be accountable and say that I told you so and that I would do it, but I stir my own I get myself out of my own shell and make sure I show up, because it's daring for me. I'm going to start a new show that's called Meek and Mild Gone Wild, and it's going to have to do with people that usually don't look for the limelight, but they have taken themselves out of their comfort zone to achieve something that's wildly out of their element. And I think it's important for those people to be acknowledged, and it's going to be fun. And I mean, I'm going to have Jerry on that Meek and Mild Gone Wild thing on there, and you too. So like I said, I think this is a great thing. I've realized how important the deadline is for me, because I want to make sure I meet the deadline. That's always what drives me. But I didn't realize that that's what drove me. I didn't realize that what you said is what really truly motivates me more, because like if I said I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and I'll do it by that time. I didn't realize that was the driving force for me until you said that. So I thank you for that. That really was hit, when they say at least if we get one viewer to get something out of it, actually this podcaster got something out of that by realizing that is what drives me, is by the deadline.
Yeah.
And
I've got something said. I'll go to my calendar and put a big circle around it.
yeah,
Half the time I forget what the circle's for. But if it's far enough ahead.
yeah.
really, but you just you've got to push yourself towards something, whether
Yeah.
it's the top of the mountain, your next book, your next challenge, your next whatever. And only you can do it. I mean, you can tell me every day that I need to go to the gym, but till I go, I have not begun anything. If I told you to force me into it, you can't do it.
Right,
Got
right.
to- You've got to do it yourself.
Yes, absolutely. And so, yeah, the driving force is keeping yourself accountable to the date. So the next step should be like, when do I want to achieve this? When do I want to shoot for? And
And
give
now
your,
doesn't work.
because right now doesn't work is right, you know? So you're right. Giving, and customer service for me when I was delivering lingerie and stuff. I mean, I knew my orders technically I'd put them in on Sunday, Monday. I know that I'd get them Wednesday. Worst case scenario was Thursday if it was a holiday or something late. So I tell people I'd get your order by Friday or Saturday. Why? Because if it didn't come in, it gave me a time to, I always just over us estimated. And if I knew there was a back order, I said, you might not get this for a month. You sure you want to order this? Because I don't like people's expectations to be, I want, and my expectations of delivering when I say I'm going to deliver. So I didn't realize that's really huge for me to deliver when I say I'm going to deliver. So
You've got an
um,
end date.
yeah, an end date. Yeah, we all have a tag on our toe. We just don't know when that's expiring. So do the best you can. So there's the beautiful Debbie Bettendorf. She has a show tonight. It's going to be a good one. It always is. And so
I damn.
So we love Debbie. So yeah, so I really love the takeaways today of think of your deadline. And it's one thing to start, but knowing your deadline really motivates and inspires you. And if you give yourself a deadline and you realize, yeah, okay, that's coming up, I don't give a shit, then that really tells you a lot about yourself, that there's no point even putting an end date or start date on anything. And there you go. Love yourself regardless whether you do or don't. But don't kid yourself anymore. Don't lie to yourself. That's what I say. Just don't lie to yourself and say you're giving yourself a date and not do it.
And what
So
gets me so bad is the people that, and I'm going to use weight again.
yeah,
They set up that they're going to lose weight. Then they get upset in 30 days because they haven't.
yeah.
But what have you done? And so then you're depressed. And you shouldn't have, if you'd have not made it up in the first place,
Well,
you wouldn't have been depressed. So now you're playing a double negative.
and that's the thing, something like that. I mean, you should probably be weighing yourself every day to keep yourself accountable, or once a week to keep yourself accountable, because what do you have for stats on a piece of paper 30 days from now? So, take the measures, or an outfit. What I usually like to do, I'd always, except
I
it's weird.
drive towards the fit.
No, it's funny because it's like now I know I have this condition, but I mean, I would do everything to lose all this weight, and the scale would go down, but I still like the one time I went down 130 pounds, and I only went down 2 pant sizes. Of course I didn't know I had the condition, but what I'm saying is like I would try to get an outfit that would fit, and I would go by that and
Mhm.
bust my ass. But be inspired by doing something to keep yourself accountable, and only you need to know. So yep, strive for it. Yep, love it, Cheryl. Ha 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 ha.
I mean, and like I say, if I sit here and say I want to lose 10 pounds or 20 or 50, well, let's get real here. And I can lose that, but like you say, if it doesn't take me to fit in the dress or
Right.
whatever that I was working for, then I'll get upset. So I don't ever set the
Yeah.
pound or anything like that,
Right.
because a lot of times you can just exercise. And actually, in fact, my daughter and I had a discussion about this last night. Exercise, you're going to gain weight before you lose weight because
Yep.
muscle weighs more. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're qualifying the scale, you're screwed.
Yeah. No,
So
inches. Carry inches is where it's at for sure. For sure.
The
So
doctors don't look at it that way, but whatever.
I know it. I know it. Well, Sheryl, as always, I love you very much.
Love you
Do you
too.
have any final thoughts before we leave?
No, just go into this year with your eyes wide open, and make it a good year. It can be your year. They're all yours. Just make this one a good one and strive for a better one.
I love that. I love that. I can't top that. I mean, that's just awesome. And what Miss Debbie say? And when you work out, you are more hungry. That's true. But then you got to eat. Well, I will tell you this though. If you work out, yeah, let's go 2023. Debbie Bettendorf says. But if you work out, you're entitled to eat because you're minus calories. So that is a good time to eat after you work out. So anyhow, you have a good day,
Same to
and I'll
you.
see you
Happy New
next.
Year's to
I'll see-
everybody, and make it a good one.
Love you, Sheryl. We'll be right back next week. Bye.
You're like a circle that floats around me.